Patty Hughes here back in Nashville, Tennessee. I made it back from New York, but I was there Friday night or Saturday night when the bomb went off in Chelsea. And yes, I said it. It was a bomb. We knew that almost immediately, despite what Hillary Clinton said or didn't say beginning. RightAlerts.com, we've been following this story. But I have to tell you, I just finished an interview, and I am shocked. Because the spin coming out of the Hillary Clinton camp today is that this is a problem that Donald Trump caused. The events of this weekend, because of the rhetoric and the words that he is saying, is inspiring these homegrown terrorists to activate and to do the things that we saw. Are you kidding me? Could you absolutely say desperation? Could you absolutely say starting to throw things to distract from the fact of whose real fault for this weekend is? Of course, that's exactly what it is. I've got a bug on me. Of course, that's exactly what it is. Now, let's talk about this. Are we a nation under terrorist attack? Listen, it doesn't take us going out and, having a big 9/11 to say that we're under terrorists. Did you this morning wake up, turn on your televisions, and did you see the headlines? And when you dropped your children off at school, did you give them an extra hug? Did you maybe say a couple extra seconds of a prayer? When you went to work today, did you look around to make sure? I did. I went around. I gave my children an extra hug. Why? Because the events of this weekend reminded us that we do have a problem here in this country. And it is. It's called homegrown terrorists. And unfortunately, they've just taken over. And they've come in and we've allowed them to do this. So where do we stand today? Yes. Terrorism is when you are under attack, when you have a terror in your heart and you feel like you are not safe. That's exactly what these men have accomplished this week. That's exactly their goal. Well, it's easy to say you need one big event, that's a terrorist attack. It's these little things. If you really want to scare the American people, it's these small little attacks in their communities that really are the ones that invoke the fear in our heart. Because that could happen to anybody. That could be anywhere. New Jersey, right before a Marine run. Chelsea is just a small little area. It's not like it's a very big, and on a Saturday night, there wasn't very many. It's not like this is a big, it's not a big government area. These are just average, everyday people living their life in New York City. Same thing went for Minnesota. Let's talk about Minnesota, by the way. And this is what is so interesting, how Hillary Clinton, why they want to spin it. This was a boy who's been here for 15 years. He came over as a refugee from Somalia. Sound familiar? Isn't that exactly what happened with the Boston bombers? Weren't they the children of refugees as well that came over? You look at Orlando. Wasn't he the child of refugee? See, that's the problem with this. They're coming in and they're developing this anger and hatred for America, and yet this was their country that their parents came to escape the evil in their own country. But yet they hate America. They want to come over here. So they never assimilate. They never come in and they never want to be a part of our culture. In fact, as we've seen, they want to hurt our culture. That's dangerous. That's scary. And yet you have President Obama taking in even more refugees. Hillary Clinton saying that she wants even more. And we need to do this with our open arms. We need to invite these folks into our communities. How well is that working out for Europe right now? I'm sorry. My family comes first when I am in my country. When I am in my home, they come first. Not anybody who's going to come into this country and potentially hurt them. Maybe it's my mama bear claws coming out, but I would feel differently if I was somebody else's country. But I am an American, and in my country, my family's protection is first, and I'm sorry. That's just how it's going to be. All Mr. Trump is saying is he wants to have a proper vetting system. I mean, who could be against that? Every other country in the world has a vetting system. They know who lets in their borders. Why? Just because we have the Statue of Liberty, she says, come on, come one, come all, who wants to do harm to us? Absolutely not. And when we have porous borders on the south that lets anybody through, we don't have an Ellis Island of Mexico. Maybe that's what we need to try. But until we know exactly who's coming in this country, and more importantly, once they're here, what kind of community are they raising their family in? Are their children potentially 15 years from now going to be trying to hurt my children when they take my grandchildren to the mall? That's the problem. We're fighting this now here at home. And you know what's interesting? We could fight them. But unfortunately, law enforcement today, and we saw it, New York is in New Jersey is an excellent example. Mayor de Blasio has basically, because of the political correctness, they're not allowed to profile. I guarantee these policemen, these detectives, yes, they could absolutely guaranteed probably stop a lot of this from happening. But they're not allowed because that would be called profiling. That would be not politically correct. I mean, look at Rudy Giuliani. While he was mayor, did we have all of this happening, all these little things happening around New York? No. Why? Because he allowed law enforcement to do their job. And you know what? If you're not doing anything wrong, you should open up your doors to law enforcement and say, come on in. It's only those that close and lock their doors that probably are trying to hide something. But you know, we've got to respect their rights, their freedoms. No, we've got to keep my family safe. And right now you see a mayor who hopefully, well, no, because even he was refusing to say it was terrorism or bomb. We have a president that's refusing to say it's Islamic jihadist. And so now we're in this situation today. So where do we go going forward? Well, I know what we don't do. We don't blame Donald Trump for what happened. That is just absolutely ridiculous. His talk has nothing to do with this. If anything, they're getting scared because they know if he is elected, he is going to allow law enforcement to do their job. Hence why you saw Donald Trump get the endorsement this week of the Fraternal Order of Police. Our policemen know that they are not able to, they want to serve and to protect. That is their duty. But when you have a mayor and an administration that says, no, that's considered profiling, you need to have this, and they have to have checkbooks and paperwork, and there are people being hurt in the American streets. You don't think our police officers aren't frustrated by this right now? Well, so you're going to hear this. Now, for the next 24 hours, I imagine they're going to just stay based on the coverage of arresting and getting to know the community. But then the politics is going to come in. And I promise you, the first person that comes out from the Hillary Clinton camp and it goes on air and says that this is the fault of Donald Trump, I don't know what I'm going to say. There might be a not a ladylike word comes out because that is so wrong. And if you are one of those supporters who believe that, I want you to look back and look at the policies of this administration that allowed, that allowed this big vacuum of corruption to sit there that explode within the Middle East and cause us to where we are today. How do you protect your families? I know if you're watching this, if you're on our Facebook page, if you follow Right Alerts, your family comes first. And you know what? I'm sorry. Waterboarding, any sort of torture techniques that it takes to get the truth out of these folks, why don't we handle them just like they handle us? You look at the videos in the Middle East, you know, the ones where they're sawing off people's heads or busting groups of women alive, dousing gasoline on them, or the ones that are drowning them in cages. That's what they do. Look at what they've done to the American soldiers that they've captured. That's what they do. Could you imagine us treating it like them like that? No. We want to put some water on their face to get the truth. I have no problem with that, because my family comes first, and I want to make sure that we know what's going on. The only way to stop these people here at home is for their own to turn them in, their own communities to become involved and tell us what's right and what's wrong. But you got to get them working. You got to make sure that they do it. So praying for those that are healing right now, praying that this is not the beginning of something. But unfortunately, we do live in a country, I do believe that we are under attack here within our own country, because if you woke up this morning and you had terror on your mind or in your heart because of the events that happened this weekend, guess what? We're living under a terrorist threat. Scotty Hughes, RightAlerts.com. You guys stay safe out there. Prayers for our country, prayers for our leadership. Amen.